Yes friends, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel of Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. Really do hope that. And of course, welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it, but more importantly asking for yours. Lots of stuff popping up today about strikers, Fulham coming in for Armando Broja, Chelsea batting away their first approach, Callum Wilson reportedly being happy to join Chelsea from Newcastle, and what's going on with Conor Gallagher. How much money does he really want? All will be revealed today, ladies and gentlemen, so I thank you for joining me. Make yourself comfortable, pour yourself a drink. Do consider supporting the content. We're closing in really close now, I think, to 180,000 subscribers. It's so close, friends. If you are yet to subscribe and you do like the content, this is your opportunity to go, you know what, hey, let's help you out now. Let's subscribe, let's hit the bell notifications icon, and yes, why not like the video? Thanks, mate. Very kind. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start off with Conor Gallagher then. Let's take a look at this tweet from CFCPYS via Ben Jacobs of Give Me Sport. Conor Gallagher would expect around £150,000 a week in a new deal, which is making things complicated. A deal is no closer at this stage. Doesn't surprise me at all that England international Conor Gallagher is asking for 150k a week. I actually think this is closer, well, Moises Caicedo might be on something similar. Moises Caicedo cost £115 million. I know you shouldn't say, oh, because he cost that much, he should get paid that much. It's just a coincidence in this case. The truth is, ladies and gents, Mason Mount left in a similar situation. He was offered a salary that he definitely could get. It was taken away, and then the lower salary Mason Mount wasn't happy with. Look, Mudrik's on, I think Enzo's on 100k a week. And again, Enzo, World Cup winner, best young player at the World Cup, 100k a week. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he should be on 100k a week. The truth is, Conor Gallagher's England teammates are on serious money. Who'll look at Bukayo Saka at 300k a week at Arsenal. Declan Rice is probably on something similar. Mason Mount, 250k a week at Manchester United. I am speculating here, but I reckon Chelsea have maybe offered Gallagher 100k a week. That seems to be their flat going rate at the moment for players. And it sort of becomes this philosophical question exercise, how much should you pay Conor Gallagher? Look, he could easily, had he go to Tottenham want him, they would give him 150k a week, more probably. If he was a target for Manchester United, he'd probably get the Mason Mount money, 250k a week. It's available out there to him, but the truth is he wants to stay at Chelsea. He knows he's playing well. He knows he's third choice captain. Yeah, third choice captain. And ultimately, he wants to get his value at Chelsea. Now look, most of us will be like, just pay him the money. But to play devil's advocate, like I always do, the Chelsea hierarchy will probably be thinking, right, how are we working long-term systemically? What fits into what? Who's definitely going to want to sign the long-term deal? Like, we don't even know if Gallagher will sign an 8-year deal on 150k, and of course that's what they want to do. I wonder if a compromise could be reached here, like, I don't know, 130k a week, 135k? I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, old Chelsea, and I'm trying to move away from old Chelsea in my head because we're just not there anymore. We'd just give any players any money, as much money as they'd want. The Roman Abramovich tax, they called it, and that's ultimately why we lost money every single year. So I understand how we're trying to restructure the wages. They probably immediately offered Gallagher 100k, 110k, but it's tough. So it's the length of contract. He probably wants to sign for 5 years and not 8. And it's the wages, he probably wants 150k and not 100k. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comment down below on the Conor Gallagher situation, and let's move on. Over to team talk now, and before we talk about Callum Wilson being happy to join Chelsea, let's talk about Armando Broja. Sources: Chelsea reject Armando Broja offer from major Premier League rival, as clubs are £10 million apart in valuation. Chelsea have rejected a late January transfer window offer from a major Premier League rival, as the race to sign the striker gets serious before February the 1st. Now, it's worth mentioning at this point, Cy Phillips Sport, who has a website, Substack, has tweeted on X, formerly known as Twitter, that Fulham has had an approach rejected for him. So we can probably safely assume that the team they're talking about in this article is Fulham. The 22-year-old Albanian frontman has played a significant role for Pochettino this season, scoring twice in 19 appearances in all competitions, largely due to Nkunku's injury and of course Jackson's struggles, but as away at AFCON as well. And while Pochettino does rate Broja very highly, Chelsea need to tread carefully around profit and sustainability rules, which have led to gathering rumours that Broja, or even a stand-in skipper Gallagher, of course who we've just spoken about, could be sold this winter, though at this point I can't imagine us selling Gallagher now. Both players have come through the youth system in West London, which means any sale will be 100% pure profit. As Team Talk previously revealed, there's been a significant interest in the 6'3" attacker, with the likes of Fulham, West Ham, Wolves, Villa and Palace all keen on striking a deal. Not only that, we know he's got some interest from Europe as well, a couple of teams in Italy and Serie A, I believe, but like I said, from Cy Phillips Sports' tweet, we can assume probably the team they're speaking about in terms of the rejected offer is Fulham. But I am speculating somewhat. Chelsea were initially asking for £50 million for a player who's only scored a total of 3 goals in 38 appearances. What? For the club. That figure has now changed as the clock ticks down to deadline day. Indeed, talk of an exit for Broja was only heightened on Friday night when Pochettino opted not to start hit with a recognised striker in the FA Cup draw against Villa, with the Albanian only coming on late in the game. Team Talk sources have revealed that the Blues are now willing to accept £35 million for Broja, and that a loan with an obligation to buy is not completely out of the question. Chelsea are extremely conscious of other clubs, much like themselves, struggling to stay on the right side of the PSR rules and are willing to sell Broja as a result. Pochettino's men already did a similar deal last summer. Of course, Lewis Hall went to Newcastle, even though we considered them a top 4 side and rival. Here we go. Now they're talking about Fulham. Team Talk have now been told that the West London rivals Fulham have made an offer for the player to move to Craven Cottage in a temporary switch with a view for a permanent move. There you go, a loan to permanent. However, the Stamford Bridge outfit have rejected the approach, as the Cottages are £10 million short of that obligation to buy figure of £35 million. But even though that offer's been turned down, it demonstrates that a significant move has now been made to get Broja out of Chelsea that could spark offers from other clubs before February the 1st. Oh, how do we feel about that? 35 million quid for Armando Broja? Probably makes a lot more sense. Look, 50 million quid for Broja. What was that? 3 goals in 38 appearances? Look, doesn't tell the whole story, does it? We know he's a very talented player. We know Poch likes him, but we know Chelsea rate him very highly as well. I always say it. The Athletic, Matt Law of The Telegraph have said Chelsea rate him very, very highly, or at least believe he could be very, very good. But you can't rely on those numbers that he's delivering at the moment. So therefore, sell him. Look, 50 million's a joke, 35 million, pretty good really, pure profit on the books, bang, bang, bang. You'd have to be happy. I also feel sorry for the lad as well. He will have a lot of believers still in the coaching staff, and indeed the Chelsea fan base, that he can come good, and you know, there's nothing more exciting to see his big frame score and, you know, doing the Albania celebration, and, you know, he's a young Chelsea boy, and it would be nice for it to just work and for him to pop off, but things don't always happen the way you want them to. Yeah, and maybe if we bring in, you know, like I say, 35 million quid immediately into the books, finances, pure profit, there's that phrase again, and then you can amortise an £100 million signing over a few years in a guy that you feel like is going to score the goals in the Premier League. That's just where we are right now. Anyway, let me know, comment down below what you think, and let's move on and go into this other article from Team Talk talking about Callum Wilson. Chelsea get a major transfer, yes! From 110k a week Newcastle star. Pundit backs the £18 million man to go through the next days. Striker Callum Wilson has reportedly told his agent that he's open to the possibility of leaving St James's Park and signing for Chelsea, with a surprise £18 million deal now being strongly tipped to go through before the transfer window closes. Wowee. Clubs in the Premier League have in the main kept their powder dry this month, with this surely amounting to the quietest January transfer window since records began, and with the worry of the implications of breaching financial fair play limits, as has seemed to be befallen both Everton and Nottingham Forest, clubs have decided to put most of their business on ice till the summer. To emphasise just how quiet this January transfer has been, Chelsea, who last January spent close to £300 million, are yet to make a senior first-team signing. The Blues, however, do have their eyes on a major addition to come in the summer, with a deal for Napoli's Victor Osimhen reportedly closing in, and with the Blues seemingly willing to activate his release clause, which is reportedly set at £111 million. That does not help Pochettino's side though. In the meantime, the Blues have endured a mixed campaign so far, which is lit up on occasions by the brilliance of Cole Palmer, and has also seen them slip with the odd disappointing result. Callum Wilson wants to quit Newcastle for Chelsea. However, a solution could be about to present itself in the form of England international striker Wilson. The 31-year-old has been a regular source of goals for Newcastle since a £20 million move from Bournemouth in 2020. A huge fans' favourite, 9 times capped for England, and the frontman has netted 46 goals in 102 appearances for Newcastle, which is pretty strong. However, with Newcastle needing to sell before they could spend this month, Wilson's name has been circulated to a number of potential Premier League suitors. And while the likes of Man United have turned down that chance, it's claimed Chelsea are indeed tempted by his apparent £18 million price tag, set so low with his current deal, expect to expire in 18 months of course. This is what Sammy Mockbell has to say. I made a check on this, and I was led to believe that there will be even more of a case that Callum Wilson would be up for coming to Chelsea, rather than Chelsea showing a definitive kind of interest in them. It wasn't a complete no, but reading between the lines, I'd imagine there are others that Chelsea would try and go for before making a concrete move for Wilson. Interesting, so what essentially they're saying is Wilson would be very keen to leave for Chelsea. United have turned down the £18 million move, but Chelsea, although are looking at alternatives, haven't completely ruled it out. Look man, I think this is a great idea. If we sign him for it depends, if he'll sign a short-term deal, like he's got 18 months left in Newcastle, maybe we give him an 18-month deal at Chelsea, but with a year option to extend, so he has a little bit more security there, financial job security. And if he does really well, and Jackson doesn't does badly rather, then, Wilson, you could be the second striker to summer signing Victor Osimhen, which is, of course, another massive story in itself, which we will cover separately here on the channel. I think it's a no-brainer. I said in yesterday's video, there's still so much to play for at Chelsea this season. So to have a guy, and also look, he's nearly got a goal every 2 games at Newcastle, and I believe that predates Eddie Howe anyway, so that would have been like stinky Steve Bruce football, and Eddie Howe had a rough start before they started scoring goals. So his goal return's pretty good, and the fact how Chelsea create way more chances than Newcastle, you'd have to bank on him scoring more goals. And he does just he can still run around, he's not like a 37-year-old, he's not like, signing Benzema as 37 that you're buying purely for the finishing. He can still run, he can still press, but he backs himself to score goals in the Prem, and he doesn't, overthink it or get freaked out. That's kind of perfect for me. That's what I think anyway. I wanted to put it out to you guys and tell these stories to you. Share your thoughts with me, comment down below. If you enjoy the content, please do drop a like. And yeah, if you guys can help me get over to over 180,000 subs, that would be lovely. So if you choose to subscribe, hit that bell. And yeah, as soon as some news pops, I'll be here. So I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.